Hey guys, another video of how the housing crash will happen. Now, this one has been talking about last 15 years. That the housing crash is here and it's gonna crash everything. And YouTubers have been really profiting off this one for some time. I know we're a crypto channel, but this one is a bit problematic because a lot of people said that the housing crash is underway. It's gonna happen. It's inevitable. And in the end, none of that happened. Like, really, none of that really existed in a sense. Like, we never saw any of that as people wanted to see. But I think that's the big problem right now, is the housing crash is just rising so much. There is no housing crash. And with crypto growing, why would the housing crash even crash? That's the biggest problem. There's no incentive for the housing crash to crash if people have money. If people have no money, then they have to sell, right? And it's a very simple analogy.
And whether or not prices might go down, here are the pros and cons to watch out for. Because once you understand this, everything is going to make a lot of sense. To start, let's talk about why some analysts believe that the housing market could decline in 2024, with the first being affordability, or I guess the lack thereof.
So yeah, in the US, it's much less affordable than it used to be. And I think that's the biggest problem right now. They're unaffordable for 99% of people. This is like incredible how unaffordable it actually is. And I think that's a big problem for everyone involved in that sense. But I do think the housing crash can actually be improved. I do think it can be solved if and only if we do like a correct thing right ahead. And that's where I think it's a real potential in that sense. If people can have affordable housing, then there will be no problems. But with the prices going like up to 2-3 billion, that's going to be problematic. Now, there is a reason why we're probably not getting a price crash, and that is a very simple reason. It's very much said because right now what we see happening is crypto, in a sense, not really having any problems with the bull run. And there's also going to be 3 cuts coming in 2024.
3 rate cuts throughout 2023 of 25 basis points each, which would take us to a federal funds rate of 4.5% and eventual mortgage rates between 5.5% to 6.5%. This suggests that with affordability improving, more buyers could be pushed into the housing market and cause prices to go up even further. In fact, Wells Fargo went on record to say that home prices will continue to appreciate, rising 2.5% in 2024 and 4.4% in 2025. Zillow also thinks that home prices will increase by 6.5% by July of 2024, and Goldman Sachs agrees, predicting that home prices won't decline from here on out. Second, more sellers in 2024. Look, the fact is 60% of homeowners have...
So even if more people start selling, I don't think that's going to be the biggest problem we have right now. That's definitely not going to be a problem in a sense overall. I feel like a lot of people make it to be a problem, but I don't think it is.
Rate locked in below 4%, and that means they're not moving unless interest rates come down to a point where there's not a huge disparity between what they're currently paying and what they would be paying. After all, why give up a 3% mortgage at $2,000 a month when the same mortgage would cost $3,300 at today's 7%? However, with the belief that interest rates are coming down, research shows that the 30-year fixed-rate mortgage falling to 5.5% is the magic mortgage rate that would be enough to push more home buyers to purchase homes. On top of that, homeowners who are also potential home buyers may see a drop in rates as an opportunity to sell and move fast before competition heats up, leading to a sudden influx of inventory that could begin as soon as next year. Third, from all metrics so far, there is no indication of a recession. According to Jerome Powell, the economy is gearing up for a soft landing in 2024 because inflation is largely under control, GDP is...
So yeah, there is absolutely no reason that the pricing will crash, because there is absolutely no reason that we get a big recession. Now, the other thing we can actually put this with crypto is people with crypto profits will actually put their money somewhere. And for a very large factor, when they take their profits from crypto, there's going to be massive opportunities, massive bull runs in that sense from the crypto runs. That's where I'm really excited in a way. So that's going to be good. That's going to be great news overall for everyone involved. But what I really do think is, like, crypto right now is still very early. And once we hit the bear market, guess where people will want to put money and what's the most stable investment? And that is real estate. Real estate is the most safe investment by far, in my opinion. So that's where I think there's that large of a potential for most buyers, for most of these homeowners. When they buy crypto, this is where they really make their big bank. But that being said, if you guys want more content like this, you know what to do. Smash that like button, and I'll keep you guys updated with more news.
Strong and consumer spending is robust. It's also worth considering that there's currently $6 trillion worth of cash sitting on the sidelines. So if anything were to break, there's a lot of cash getting ready to push us forward. And fourth, any drop we do see could likely be due to seasonality. So even though housing prices generally trend higher in the long run, once you begin looking closer, you'll begin to realize that there are very consistent, predictable price swings that happen on a regular basis like clockwork. And right now, as you're about to see, we're about to enter a time where the market slows down. Now, even though most seasonal pricing tends to have a variance between 8 to 12% off the sales price, some locations like the Northeast and Great Lakes could see a difference of all the way up to 22% between summer and winter prices, which means now could be a good time to negotiate if you could find the right deal. And finally, 5, long-term housing has always gone higher. Like, just consider that when you adjust for inflation, housing values have only seen one decline in the last 50 years, with that being in 2010. Even over the last 100 years, housing prices have steadily increased as new construction constantly lags the growing population. So it could be inferred that this might continue to be the case for another 50 years. Although just in case it doesn't, as a former real estate agent and real estate investor since 2008, here's my advice on precisely what to do to make sure you come out ahead no matter what happens. The first thing that I'd recommend everybody do is get a 30-year mortgage. Now, I know what most people think when they hear this, but Graham, you pay so much more interest on 30 years than you do in 15, or you just...
So I don't even think this is the big problem. I think with what we're seeing right now with the mortgages, that's not the biggest issue. The biggest issue in real estate right now is people actually spending a ton of money. Now, this is where I really think if people stop spending a lot of money, they will end up not buying houses. Because first of all, if people can't afford to pay rent, they can't afford to buy, crypto, they can't afford to buy cars, all of that. So it all really goes hand in hand. If you guys want more opportunities, in the crypto space, the first thing we need to see is the housing market really going to crash? Most likely not. Why? Because the stocks are going up, the crypto is going up. So there's no reason for people to sell houses. There's no reason for them to need money. Instead, it's going to be the opposite. People will actually park their own money into crypto instead, like into real estates from crypto. So this is the big thing. And I think people have been, especially YouTubers, because it does get views. And again, I'm not calling Graham Stafford out here, but most YouTubers have been really talking a lot about investing in that sense. I don't think it's going to be a big problem. If you ask me, I don't think it's going to be a big problem at all. And that's going to be like the exciting factor. There's only going to be winners in the bull runs. There's not going to be any crashes. There's no indicators. Someone told me there's going to be a 50% price crash, and I just don't see it at this point. This is the problem. I just don't see a 50% price crash or a 50% chance for a recession. This is what I hear all the time. It could happen or it could not happen. And these are people who studied 4 years at economic schools. They're, and it's just incredible, really. But if you guys want to have more content like this, you know what to do. Smash that like, and I'll keep you guys updated with more. Until next time, peace everyone.